Hello there, everyone. I made a video, a not very detailed video, showing this fan. I had some requests to do an in detail video, so this is going to get into more details of this fan. So once again, this is my Vornado Bersted 10-inch oscillating desk fan. It was made in the 1970s by Two Guys department stores. They bought the Vornado name, and they were manufactured by Two Guys department stores. And they also were sometimes, some of these Vornado fans, they vary in size and different types of blades and things, but they're all basically the same. And this definitely isn't Vornado's classic vortex design, with the vortex design on the back and the vents out front and the sort of the pivot style. It's definitely not that. That's how you can tell this isn't a genuine Vornado fan. I almost said Vortelex. So, yeah, this was made by Bersted. Here's the front label, the badge. You can see the Vornado manuscript right there, if my phone would focus. Come on. There, okay. So there's a Vornado manuscript. And if you can, I don't know how well you can see there. Right there, if it would focus. Come on. Sorry about this, everyone, but my phone is just being stubborn today. Oh, come on. I might have to use my... Okay, well, I can't get it to focus anyway, but... Well, you can kind of see it right there, I guess. Come on. There, okay. So you can see model 510. Right there, it's 510 because this is a 10-inch fan. Model 512 was a 12-inch fan. Some information down there. So let's take a look at the blades. It has aluminum blades, even though they look like they're plastic. They're aluminum. A nice big blade hub right there. And I was going to take the blades off and clean them because they're pretty dusty, or they were pretty dusty, but there's a set screw down there that would not come off. It was being stubborn. Did not want to come off, so I cleaned the blades while they were still on the fan using a paper towel and some water. And I dried them off in the same manner. So here's the back of it, or the side of it actually. There's the motor housing. There's the switch, which is on the back. The vents. And there's some more vents on the front of the motor housing right there. Excuse me. So yeah, there's a switch. I think it's the Leviton switch. I'm not sure about that. I forgot to look when I was in it. And here's where you probably can see the familiar Bersted quality of it in the oscillating mechanism. This has the crank and arm style. Let me tilt it up so you can see. So you can see there's a little crank here that mounts around the oscillating shaft. Oscillating arm is right there, connected from the neck to the crank. And to engage the oscillator, you twist this thumb nut here. You twist it clockwise, and it sort of clamps the crank onto the oscillator shaft, and it tightens the crank, clamps it onto the oscillator shaft so it stays, and it catches onto the shaft, spins around with it, therefore drives the mechanism. And to disengage it, you twist it counterclockwise. I'm going to disengage it. So, take a look at the bottom of it, or the base. It has a lovely rough finish on it. On the bottom, there's nothing much more than 3 feet And this can be wall mounted by use of that keyhole slot. The finish is really nice on the bottom, actually. The finish is really nice on this fan. I'm not sure if it's original or not. I'm gonna guess it is. So, this fan is a single speed fan, which I guess you could call high, I guess. And when I got it, it spun kind of slow. So all I did was I oiled it. There's a front oil port right there. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. If I'm in focus. They're right there, that hole. Right there is the front oil port. And to get to the back oil port, I had to, for the back bearing, I had to take off this back cover of the motor housing. That gives you access to the gearbox and the back of the stator and the switch, of course. I had to take the gearbox off, and there was a little felt thing sticking out of a hole that I put some drops of oil in there. I also oiled the shaft. There's a sort of a little gap in between the gearbox and the stator. I could fit my oil spout between that, and I oiled the shaft a little bit. Gave it a few spins, and now it spins nice and freely, as you can see. And the oscillator works. Unfortunately, I don't have any grease to re-grease the oscillator gearbox with. So yeah. Oh, it does have the original cord. At least I believe it's the original cord. Let me plug it here for you. There. It's the original cord. It does not have a head wire because the cord just comes right out of the motor housing, which this makes me think that it's kind of cheap. Or at least cheap for its time. Of course, by today's standards, this would be actually very well built. Here's the plug. See, this plug actually looks very similar to the one that's on my Lively Air right here. You see, yeah, see, they're very similar. Same molded plugs, although this one's got a slightly different design. So, let me plug it back in. Okay, and let's try it out. So, here is on. It's very quiet. As I mentioned in my other video, blows a lot of air. The view from the back. Let's see if you can see the oscillator. The oscillator turning. Okay, let's make it oscillate now. Okay, now it's oscillating. Blowing a lot of air. The oscillator on this fan doesn't oscillate as far this way as it does this way, which I'm guessing that is because at this point in time, the oscillators weren't on their high on their priority list. They were probably more interested in quantity rather than quality. Let me turn off the oscillator, loosening the thumb screw. Let's turn it off. Check the spin down time. Yeah, before I oiled it, the spin down time wasn't nearly this long. I don't know, I didn't time it. Still going. The spin down time is never gonna beat my Sears Kenmore. My Sears Kenmore has the best spin down time of all of my fans. But I think this might actually beat my Lively Air there. simply because the blades are heavier aluminum rather than plastic. So that is, even though this fan is cheaply made for its time, it's a very, very nice fan, by today's standards at least. Well built, entirely metal construction, and I love it. So, really nice little Vornado Bersted oscillating desk fan, 10-inch. Thanks for watching.